Hey, this is Al McGee with Your Entertainment Ticket at www.yeticket.com. Hey, the film I'm going to talk about right now is called Belial. Now, this is Dubai's first animated feature. You know, Dubai, the country, they made this country. They created it themselves. And this story took place about 1,000 years ago. Well, it's based on a historic Muslim figure called Bilal ibn Rabah. And he was the early follower of the Prophet Muhammad. And he was an African slave, and he learned the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, the film takes place in Mecca, but here the film shows you that Mecca is not a thriving place. It's a very small place. And the person or people who was in charge were really more the merchants who was in charge. But because they have money, they had slaves and their small armies, so they control everything, including religious beliefs too. In fact, in this film, it shows that they were selling figurines of gods, and also you had to walk by God and give them some money. So if you want your life to be better. And if you didn't give them money, well, the merchants or the people who was in power will come down on you if you didn't give them money, because the money went to them and their priests and other people who were in power. Well, anyway, as you can see that there was only a few houses there in the film. They had an open market, and they had a Kaaba, the black granite cube that is Islam's holiest shrine. But at the time, many of the people there, according to this film, did not see that as a holy shrine. Like I said, Bilal was a slave, and, he was a slave owned by a guy named Umayyah with the voice of Ian McShane. And he was the most powerful one of the pagan merchants. Now, this is the biggest animated feature ever made in the Mideast. And, this is PG-13. They're trying to universalize this film. In other words, they're trying to make everybody like this. And they shot this in English. Yes, another translation is coming out later, but they shot this in English. Now, in the beginning of the film, you see Bilal. He's a 7-year-old kid with braided hair and, my skin color. Had a beautiful mother. She was an Abyssinian princess, and he had a small sister. But at that times, in those times, it was very, very dangerous, because people with money and armies and things like that, they can come into your neighborhood, in your section, or whatever you lived in, and they can snatch you up and sell you to somebody else. If not sell you, they can take advantage of the women and things like that and keep them as their slaves. It was a very, very harsh time, very violent time. And this is something that this film led on to, but didn't really show the whole lifestyle of living during those times. Now, with this film, though, I wanted to see much more truth or real reality in the lifestyles of those times. There was a lot of cruelty and a lot of greed at that time. And, and religion, there was many different religious thoughts and things like that at that time. They didn't show a lot of that, but they did allude to it. Like I said, Bilal, he was the first muezzin, or, when you hear them announce it's time for prayer and things like that. Well, Bilal was one of the first ones to do that, because he had a very nice voice. He can sing and things like that. And he was the first one to make that much more popular, or make it widespread, that a holy man would go on top or somewhere and announce the prayers and things like that in the Muslim belief. Now, the drawings and the animation is very good. They really made Bilal look great and things like that. But I still feel the story, it just was not deep enough. They had a couple of directors in this, 2 directors for this film. Like I said, it's beautiful, but I did learn something, and it was something that I never knew about Bilal. It's something that I've never seen in the mainstream, especially in any American film making at all, none. And that's one thing I salute about this film. But overall, it's just too clean, it's just too fresh. And yes, it did tell a story about Bilal, But I wanted much more. I wanted to get more deeper. I could not get emotionally involved in it because it did not get deep enough. So I'm only going to give this film 2 palm trees out of 4, just 2 palm trees out of 4 for Bilal. I wanted so much more. I wanted to learn so much more about him, but they kind of sanitize it. So Bilal, go see it for yourself and see what you think about it. It'll be in a theater near your neighborhood, but on a limited basis. Hey, I'm Al McGee with Your Entertainment Ticket at www.yeticket.com. Hey, thanks for watching my review. I really appreciate it.
You are watching YETicket.com with Al McGee, movie reviews and interviews. This is YETicket.com, YETicket.com, your entertainment ticket.
We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com, YETicket.com, YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com, YETicket.com.